One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report and pace his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Well, it is a beautiful fucking Friday morning, isn't it? Listen, man, anytime it's Friday, it's a good day. You know, it just is. It's just a fantastic day in the week, you know? Anyways, much love, honor, respect to all of you legends up in the building. We got a huge one to go ahead and discuss today. Listen, man, Israel-Hamas war, we're going to be discussing that this morning. Israeli airstrike in Gaza kills the Hamas police chief, and we're going to get into that here in a minute. We have a lot of video actually from, I think it's called First Post. We're going to go ahead and get into that here in a minute. But before we do, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new here as well, listen, hitting that subscribe button is also free. And listen, hit that like button for Lucy back there. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Hey, so listen, please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month, man. We have Saturday mornings, which is tomorrow morning, by the way, at 10 a.m. CST, same time. And we have our breakfast only members live stream over there. The Breakfast Club gets kind of crazy over there. We let's just say it's a bit uncensored, actually almost all the way. Yeah, go check that out. Also, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only the show, but of my lifestyle, as well as Millennial Food Time. This is where I direct message everybody, so make sure you guys hit that. And if you guys are interested, I'm starting to get very active in Discord. So go ahead and hit the description down below this video right now, or any of my videos, and it will have the Discord link invite. So go ahead and check that out. That's free to do so as well. Last but not least, of course, everything is going to be shouted out, every cash out or every, big don't, whether, listen, I don't care what it is. It could be $1. We're shouting it out, man. It all adds up. So super chats, super stickers, channel memberships, gifted memberships, all of that stuff is going to be shouted out. But if you guys would like to help out the show monetarily, we have these scrolling down for the remainder of the show so we can skip that brutal 30% YouTube cut. You know what I mean? So anyways, good morning to see, it's always amazing to see the Breakfast Club. It is actually something I look forward to every day. Not even joking. It's something that I very much appreciate you guys hanging out with me and learning about what's happening around the world, because we are breaking news, nonstop, almost every single fucking day. We got Huggy up in the building. Good morning, kind sir. Always good to see you, as well as Carney's Ride. We got Evil Rick, Hook Dog, my man. Tiffany, good morning. Good to see you. We got Straight Jacket up in the building saying, sup, y'all. Don't forget to hit that like on your way in. Absolutely. Pablo, appreciate you, my man. Saying these notifications still ain't notifying. Pablo, not even surprised. When we're talking about the United States, it seems like everyone gets a notification. Everyone, hey, Mike Ball's live. But it's very odd every time that we're talking about a certain, star state. We totally don't get notified. Notifications aren't sent out. Sometimes people say that they can't even see that I'm live. Yeah, totally rough. We got Steve up in here. Good to see you, my man. Always an honor, my man. All right. So we're about to get into the nitty-gritty of this shit. We got Shadow as well. Good to see you guys, man. All right. So this is off of First Post, okay, guys? This was live or uploaded. No, yeah, live streamed. This was streamed live 3 hours ago. It's only got 2,900 views, okay, guys? Like this is what I'm talking about right here. You know, if you actually look at right there, it shows. Let me go ahead and zoom into that. 2,906 views. I mean, like, listen, we could be going ahead and talking about the guy that did the Cybertruck blow up and get, basically farm views, but we're not going to do that. There's like millions and millions of fucking hits on each one of these, like, big stories about, dude with the Tesla and all that. But listen, we already discussed it. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows the deal, at least here on this channel. We've already discussed it. We've reported on it. And we're going to go ahead and move on. We keep with the times, you know what I mean? With this shit is hour by hour. We don't really go backwards like that. So anyways, yeah, that just shows that nobody's like giving a shit about this shit. You know what I mean? And that's kind of unfortunate. But let's go ahead and discuss. Look at that crazy ass footage. Yeah, that's crazy, Martin. Good to see you, by the way. I don't know what they're showing right now. Hold on, let me go ahead and skip ahead a little bit where the reporter starts speaking.
Palestinians searched through the rubble at a tent camp sheltering displaced families on Thursday after a series of Israeli airstrikes across the Gaza.
John Burr up in the building with the $2 Australian, I believe. Wait, usually it says, yeah, it is Australian. Usually, I thought it says AUS, but you're right. It does so. You love that upside down Snickers, Rob told me. And no. Roberto's the fucking op, by the way. Don't listen to that motherfucker. He caps.
Not the cap.
Don't listen to that motherfucker. Hey, John, I appreciate that, by the way. Thank you, kind sir. And we got allegedly up in here saying, morning, Mike. Happy Friday. Hoping you're well on this fabulous January day. Much respect. Thank you, allegedly. We're having a wonderful morning so far, and we just started up. So welcome in.
Gaza Strip. Medics said dozens of Palestinians were killed in the strikes, including 11 people who were sheltering here in the Al-Mawasi district, an area designated as a humanitarian zone for civilians earlier in the war between Israel. Gaza's police department and his aide were killed in the strike. According to the Hamas-run,
they're all fucking tense and shit.
Gaza Interior Ministry. The Israeli military said it had conducted an intelligence-based strike in Al-Mawasi, just west of Khan Yunis. It said the aide was the head of Hamas security forces in southern Gaza. Other strikes included hits on the Interior Ministry headquarters in Khan Yunis and North Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. Israel's military said it had targeted Hamas militants who intelligence indicated were operating in a command and control center inside a Khan Yunis municipality building. The Israeli military has accused Gaza militants of using built-up residential areas for cover. Hamas denies this.
Yeah, that would be cap. Of course you would. I would too.
Smaller ally Islamic Jihad said it fired rockets into southern Israel on Thursday. The Israeli military said it intercepted one projectile in the area that had crossed from southern Gaza. Israel has killed more than 45,500 Palestinians in the war.
God damn. Holy shit, how many?
Israel has killed more than 45,500 Palestinians.
Wow. That's a humongous amount.
In the war, according to Gaza's health ministry. The war was triggered by Hamas's October 7th.
Yep, that was October 7th right there. I can tell by that footage.
23 cross-border attack on southern Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed. Another 251 were taken hostage to Gaza, according to Israeli tallies.
Yeah. They meant to drop supplies and not, an airstrike, right? Yeah, right. That's true, Huggy. They both love to create their own narratives, say their own shit. Yeah, this is wild though. This is crazy footage. This is crazy footage inside the Gaza Strip, bro. Good morning, Jess. Good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. Yeah, Hardwire. Yeah, you got to expect it. Look at what we're talking about. Yeah. I don't know why they would do that, by the way. But they just censor everything. So, yeah. I noticed when I put an emoji, it gets blocked, and when I put explanation points, it gets blocked. That's just me. Sometimes some people can get through, and I don't know how, but it's weird. This is crazy footage, though. Good test. Are they searching for bodies? Is that what they're doing? Like, why are you moving some big ass random rock? Shit is fucking destroyed. Look at Tent City. Now that looked like fucking downtown LA. Yeah, there's downtown LA for you. Yep. Fantastic. They wanted to be like us. You may want to try to break it down if it's like a long sentence you're trying to write out. Yeah, probably like break it down into sections. At least while we're doing, anything Israel related. Yeah, that's right, Papa. Absolutely. Oh, dude, that's what we need right now. We're firing it up. What's up, Todd J? Good morning. And don't worry, they're going to get back into reporting here in a second. They're just showing off all this video footage that they have from inside Gaza, which, truthfully, you don't see a lot of it, but they do try. Hamas try, and they like to paint their own narrative just like Israel does. Mr. Mister, good to see you, man. Yeah. What's up, are we not, man? Good morning. You can, but I won't. Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised I went through, Papa. All right, let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit here. Unless we're going to see like an actual active. Let's go and skip a little bit. Yep, there is an active strike right there. Active strikes over here. Shit, yeah, this is definitely from the Israeli side filming into Gaza, believe it or not. I can tell by the landscape. At least from those camera angles. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit.
Medics said dozens after a series.
Okay. We want to hear what Homegirl is going to say to us.
Palestinians searched through the rubble at a tent camp sheltering displaced families on Thursday after a series of Israeli airstrikes across the Gaza.
I'm just saying this one now, Straight Jacket. So yeah, the way that you can tell if they've been deleting your shit, just so everyone knows. If you want to know if it went through or not, and you don't want to be like on a computer and your phone or whatever at the same time, just switch back and forth from all chat or top chat. When you do top chat, it filters it. When you do that, it refreshes the chat every time, and it'll show if your comment went through or not. Just a little FYI.
As a strip, medics said dozens of Palestinians were killed in the strikes, including 11 people who were sheltering here in the Al-Mawasi district, an area designated as a humanitarian zone for civilians earlier in the war between Israel. Gaza's police department and his aide were killed in the strike, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Interior Ministry. The Israeli military said it had conducted an intelligence-based strike in al-Mawasi, just west of Khan Yunis. It said the aide was the head of Hamas security forces in southern Gaza. Other strikes included hits on the Interior Ministry headquarters in Khan Yunis and North Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. Israel's military said it had targeted Hamas militants who intelligence indicated were operating in a command and control center inside a
Yeah, and they're blocking all your BS then, straight.
Khan Yunis municipality building. The Israeli military has accused Gaza militants of using built-up residential areas for cover. Hamas denies.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way, Evil Rick. Unfortunately, that we have to do that, you know what I mean? But that's probably the easiest way and the most direct way to find out if you're getting blocked. But if you only have one device, you can switch from top chat to all chat or whatever, and it'll refresh and it'll show.
This. Hamas's smaller ally Islamic Jihad said it fired rockets into southern Israel on Thursday. The Israeli military said,
you know what's radical is AI has done decently, at least with shit like that. You know, recently it's gotten a lot better than just like the monotone bullshit that we normally hear from AI. But that is a real woman. That is a real woman speaking.
Said it intercepted one projectile in the area that had crossed from southern Gaza. Israel has killed more than 45,500 Palestinians in the war, according to Gaza's health ministry.
What's up, Joseph? Stop
the war was triggered by Hamas's October 7th, 2023 cross-border attack on southern Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed. Another 251 were taken hostage to Gaza, according to Israeli tallies.
What's up, brother Dean over there in Israel, my man? Good to see you. We are discussing about what happened with the Hamas police chief, that he died and actually kills in that airstrike. It wasn't just the police chief. We haven't discussed this part yet. It wasn't just the police chief that died. It was actually 68 other people as well that died. So, you know, I guess we're talking a total of 69 people now for this particular thing. Right, Tiffany. Yeah, exactly, AU. It's sad how this shit works with censorship and all that shit. So bear with it, everybody. I know it's frustrating as fuck. It's actually probably more frustrating to me than anybody else, because that shit, I know what it can do to people. It gets people discouraged and then they stop commenting. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I don't want. Yep. Evil Rick, that means it didn't go through. Anytime that you go and do that and it shows that your message isn't there, that means it got blocked. I agree, straight. They allowed that to come through, though. Fucking weird. No kidding. Well, you know what's happening here, you know. Of course, they're lining up the bodies and all that shit for the press. They're not even doing that for their own people, guaranteed. Just like the truth is both sides play the media bullshit, and they both lie on both sides. And it makes it where you have to get like their point of view and their point of view and almost come up with your own conclusion. Because it is over exaggerated on both sides. Trust me, they both have a fucking narrative. Just saying. Oh yeah, Evil Rick, I'm sure. Well, it shouldn't happen to you. Or it shouldn't happen to other people. That's fuck that. I know that's probably their safe zone, you know what I mean, where they have no other place to run to. So that part does suck. They're like the only kind of people that really don't have an option to go anywhere else. Yeah, what's up, Stephanie? I know it's frustrating as all fucking get out. Sorry about it, everybody. On behalf of YouTube, I will apologize for you guys. They voted for their own destruction, and that's true. This is exactly what happens when this is truth. This is exactly what happens when you allow terrorist organizations to run your fucking people. What do you expect? Don't allow fucking terrorist organizations to run your fucking people. There you go. How about that? Boom. Yeah, it's true, Hardwire. For 10 cents a day. Oh my God, dude. Straight, you're savage. Wow, all posts would be gone? That's fucking weird. That is not supposed to happen. Just so you know. I think you're probably the only person with that problem, Evil Rick, because I've never heard that complaint ever. That particular one. And I'm real savvy with this YouTube shit, you know? We need some left-handed tobacco up in this bitch right now, huh? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. All right, we got to get the correct setting on this bitch. In that part, I do have some sort of empathy as well. Papa Penguin says the Palestinian people have a lot of similarities to the Syrian people. They've been lied to and manipulated so much for so long, they don't know down from up and up from down. That's very true, by the way, Papa Penguin. It's unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's just an unfortunate situation. You know, yikes. Yo, allegedly. Whoa. Didn't even send in a super chat. Sent in a super sticker just to show some fucking love. Wow. Dude. Thank you so much for that. That's incredible right there. Man. You know, the truth is I couldn't do this fucking show without you guys. Just couldn't. Like, this is, you know, real quick side note on this. I don't cater to views to go ahead and get a paycheck, right? That's exactly why I would rather push the membership program than me having to do something for views, and that's how I would get a paycheck. I would rather discuss reality and get almost no views, but still be able to get paid, right? And that's essentially how I've done it and set it up. And the only way that we do that is through super chats, donations, and of course, the membership program is actually the biggest chunk of change from all of the whole different sections of whether they're super chats or anything. At least memberships give you like a monthly paycheck that you can rely on. But this type of shit right here is what allows us to fucking do what we do. Just wanted to point that out. So thank you again for that. Big W in the chat. See. What's up, War Gorilla? Good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning. While they are showing the chaos that's happening right now in Gaza, they've already shown this aspect, so let me go ahead and skip a little bit. They've shown a few of these scenes already. But while they're
the strikes,
okay, that's where we wanted to get. This is where we wanted to get to. And so when she's not talking, of course, I'll go ahead and reply to all of you guys.
Palestinians searched through the rubble at a tent camp sheltering displaced families on Thursday after a series of Israeli airstrikes across the Gaza Strip. Medics said dozens of Palestinians were killed in the strikes, including 11 people who were sheltering here in the Al-Mawasi district, an area designated as a humanitarian zone for civilians earlier in the war between Israel. Gaza's police department and his aide were killed in the strike, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Interior Ministry. The Israeli military said it had conducted an intelligence-based strike in Al-Mawasi just west of Khan Yunis. It said the aide was the head of Hamas security forces in southern Gaza. Other strikes included hits on the
So Dean over there in Israel says the normal, regular people there are oppressed, and even we feel for them. Wow. So even the normal citizens is what you're getting at, Dean. It's not like the government aspect, but the citizen aspect of people that are in Israel. They know that they're oppressed, and you guys can feel for them. But as well as you have to be realistic in the people that you allow run your people, right? Like, just like Hardwire was saying up here, they voted for and supported Hamas as their government. If Russia went to war with us over Biden, we would be responsible for the bomb things he has done. But that way, been that way through all throughout history. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why you don't allow terrorist organizations to run your shit. I mean, you can see how well it's working out for all of these fucking people that do that. It's not just Hamas. It's obvious. I mean, we can talk about Lebanon. We can talk about, well, I mean, there's proxies that are happening. The Iranian proxies, by the way, who fund all the fucking terrorist bullshit, except for maybe one or two. Fuck.
Interior Ministry headquarters in Khan Yunis and North Gaza's Jabalia refugee camp. Israel's military said it had targeted Hamas militants.
Shit. Allegedly is a woman.
Who intelligence indicated were operating in a command and control center inside a Khan Yunis municipality building. The Israeli military has accused Gaza militants of using built-up residential areas for cover. Hamas denies this. Hamas's smaller ally Islamic Jihad said it fired rockets into southern Israel on Thursday. The Israeli military said it intercepted one projectile in the area that had crossed from southern Gaza. Israel has killed more than 45,500 Palestinians in the war, according to Gaza's health ministry. The war was triggered by Hamas's October 7, 2023 cross-border attack on southern Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed. Another 251 were taken hostage to Gaza.
Yeah, I know it is. Just the way it is. What's up, Tats? By the way, good to see you. And yeah, I'm figuring that majority of this is probably going to be on a cycle. If I catch it too many times, then of course, then I'll just go ahead and fucking. I'm hoping there's more to it. If not, we'll just go ahead and move on. You know what I mean? You do you, and don't worry about the nonsense. Exactly, Papa. Yep, facts. And saying regular folks, that's what I was looking for. At gunpoint, they supported them. Oh, wow. That's fucking crazy. We got Crystal Strange up in here, by the way. Just want to give a little side note. What's up, my man? Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning, or for you, I guess it would be afternoon for you now. You over there in South Africa, saying what up to the legendary Mike Ball and the always kick-ass chat. Y'all have a kick-ass day, man. Thank you for that. By the way, Dwayne, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us. Dwayne says, hello, I haven't been getting notifications even when I reset it. Peace, y'all. Man, that sucks. Or hopefully you're saying hi, all. Yeah, that totally is a bummer, man. The truth is every time we're talking about this kind of stuff right here, this particular star state, for some reason, notifications don't get sent out. Sometimes people don't even see that I'm fucking live at all. And then sometimes people will go, dude, I had no idea that you were even fucking live. I got nothing, didn't see shit. And then I see it 2 hours later after you're already done. Like, man, that's not the point. The point is for you guys to hang out with me live. You know what I mean? This is a live show. Anyways, good morning. Good to see you guys.
According to Israeli tallies,
all right, let's go ahead and skip a little bit. See if there's more to this. Because we did see this part. Yeah, they just keep showing the same scenes of like the actual what destruction they were showing. Now, I don't know why they would loop it on a video here. Let's go ahead and see if there's a little bit more substance to this with the chick reporting, or if it's just literally on repeat.
Families on Thursday.
Yeah, it is on repeat. That's fucking crazy. Why make a 43-minute fucking video of that and repeat it the same cycle news report like 6 times. Why do that? Okay, so let's go ahead and check this out right here. This right here is Iran-U.S. tension. Biden planning to strike Iran's nuclear sites, question mark.
European countries should tell Israel
This is from WION,
not
by the
to
way.
destabilize the region. At the press conference, the Qatari Emir said that they will continue mediation efforts to end the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza.
He hasn't
Qatar
slept?
and other
Get
international
outta here.
mediators have been working on a ceasefire agreement for Gaza, but the talks have stalled for months now.
Yeah, Papa Penguin, 100%. Let's see. Dean says real quick, Hamas wiped out the Palestinian Authority, throwing guys off roofs, dragging them behind motorbikes in the street. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. That's terrorism, dude. Even to their own fucking people, they'll terrorize their own people. Like, the shit's fucking crazy.
Ballistic missiles on October 1st. A Wall Street Journal report quoting Arab officials said Tehran utilized its secret diplomatic back channels to warn Arab states of retaliation if they facilitated Israel in its offensive against Iran. Now, these countries include Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, which also host U.S. troops. The report further says in their message to Washington, these nations have expressed their reluctance in letting Israel or the U.S. use their airspace for
Yo, Wildcard, shout out to you. Good morning. Hopefully you're having a wonderful one so far. I know we are.
States have allowed U.S. forces to carry out their self-defense operations from their territories. In April, several countries, including Jordan, helped Israel intercept a barrage of Iranian missiles.
Every time they're popping off like that, that's an interception. They're exploding midair.
Explore other routes to target Iran. It may send its fighter jets via Syrian airspace, where its air force has freedom of movement. The warplanes could also fly over Iraq, as its air defenses are no match to Israeli stealth
By the
technology.
way, I'm just seeing this right now. My fucking bad. My bad. Yo, real quick, I got to give a special shout out to my man. And I'm seeing to see if there's like an actual message. There is. Okay. Good thing I looked. Brother Hardwire Cash Apped $30, man, and said, Happy New Year. God bless you and the family. Wow, dude. Thank you for that. I appreciate that very, very much, kind sir. Thank you for your endless support. It means the world.
Territories to be used in any attack on Iran or its interests. This after the state of Israel has vowed to attack Iran with lethal, precise, and even surprising force for its 180 ballistic missile reprisal on the 1st of October.
Yep.
According to a report in the Wall Street Journal that has quoted certain Arab officials, it claims.
Let me know if you want to come up, if you have something to say regarding this like that. I'll go ahead and send you the link. You know what I mean? If you're trying to get something across and you can't get it across, I'll send you the link.
The Israelis in attacking Iran. Now, these countries
let me know.
include the likes of Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, which all host American troops on their ground. The report further said that in their message to Washington, these nations have expressed their reluctance in letting Israel or the United States use their airspace for any military operations against Iran. However, officials have said that the Western-backed states have allowed the U.S. forces to carry out their self-defense operations from their territories.
Shit's fucking crazy.
In April, several nations, remember, including the likes
of... watching like a rain of a barrage of just missiles coming down, like I'm so blessed that I've never, ever dealt with something like that. And many of you have not dealt with something like that. And thank God for that. You know, living like that, man, that's something that is next fucking level. And I have a humongous respect for all of them people that have to deal with that. That's got to be fucking terrible to deal with. I mean, imagine trying to have a family and shit like that. Like, I'm talking on the citizen level. I'm not talking no fucking government or terrorist organizations. I'm talking about the people. Yeah, that's fucked up.
As tensions continue to rise between Iran and its arch rival Israel, the former has decided to triple its military spendings. Iran's government spokesperson said that the move will see a significant increase of more than 200% in the country's military budget. The statement has been at news conference in Tehran. Now, however, Iran hasn't disclosed any exact figures yet. The Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SIPRI, think tank says Iran's military spending in 2023 was about $10.3 billion. The new proposed budget will be debated with lawmakers. It will be finalized in March next year. The plan came days after Israel carried out airstrikes on Iran's military sites in response to Tehran's October 1st attack. Israel's attack damaged a base run by the paramilitary Revolutionary Guards. As an all-out war between Iran and Israel looms, Iran has one of the strongest militaries in West Asia.
Yes, they do.
It has 610,000 active soldiers, outnumbering Israel's 170,000.
But the reserve is bigger.
Iran also has 350,000 reserve.
9 billion versus what? 26?
Has 465,000 reserved personnel.
Wow. Iran has more tanks?
Though Israel lags behind Iran in terms of troops,
armored vehicles,
an edge over Tehran is its sophisticated technology aided by US. Iran has raised its defense budget earlier as well, but not by nearly as much. SIPRI in 2023 concluded that Iran was the fourth largest military spender in West Asia in 2023 with $10.3 billion. And also, the defense budget changes comes at a time when the country is grappling with soaring inflation and declining purchasing power. And Israel and Iran exchanged blows at the United Nations Security Council's emergency meeting on Monday. Iran condemned Israel's Saturday attack,
South Florida
with the country's UN ambassador Amir Said calling it a blatant and dangerous breach of international law and the UN Charter. He highlighted the United States' unwavering and
I can't disagree with you, Jay. I have to agree. Absolutely. Shit's wild, huh? Good morning, by the way. Good to see you. Hopefully you're doing well.
Ordered the Benjamin Netanyahu-led country to persist in its crime and aggression in Gaza and Lebanon and now Iran.
The U.S. government is complicit in Israeli aggression and will bear its consequences. Furthermore, the United States has already been complicit in the ongoing war crimes and genocidal campaign targeting
complaining to the UN
infrastructure both in Gaza and
This is
Lebanon.
Iran
The vast
speaking to the UN ambassador
Israeli
right
drops on Gaza and Lebanon are US made.
Now, Israel called Iran the puppet master behind Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. Speaking of Iran's October 1st launch of at least 180 missiles into Israel, its UN ambassador Danny Danon claimed the country promised destruction. Israel responded with strength, he said.
No sovereign country would tolerate hundreds of ballistic missiles aimed at its civilian population. No responsible government would allow its people to remain under constant threat. On Friday night, Israel acted as any nation would to defend its citizens, secure its borders, and neutralize an immediate threat.
The United States warned Iran of severe consequences if it undertakes any further aggressive action against Israel or U.S. personnel in West Asia.
Message for Iran remains clear as well. Should it choose to undertake further aggressive acts against Israel or U.S. personnel in the region, there will be severe consequences. We will not hesitate to act in self-defense.
Russia and China sided with Iran, blaming Israel for the escalation in tensions in the region. UK took a more neutral stance, calling on all sides to exercise restraint.
Ever since the first COVID lockdown, I'm absolutely...
And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen to this.
Listen to this. Yes, ma'am.
The United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting on Monday afternoon to address escalating tensions between Iran and Israel. This comes after those Israeli airstrikes targeted Iranian missile factories over the weekend, prompting Iran to now consider a response to those attacks. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has called for an immediate halt to all attacks in the region, while the U.S. representative to the United Nations emphasized on Monday that all acts of escalation are condemnable. And
that's what I was saying earlier, Hardwire.
The situation began to
100%.
unfold on October 1st when Iran launched nearly 200 ballistic missiles.
You gotta love that shit,
targeting
Jay.
Israel at Tel Aviv.
But it is
Israel's
weak.
ambassador to
They
the
have
United
old
Nations
fucking
on Monday
shit.
directly addressed Iran's leaders, saying this is the last warning. Israel has shown restraint, but from now on, you will only see strength.
Look at that
and
rain.
any further
That's
aggression
crazy.
will be
to
met
see.
by quote unquote powerful and swift actions.
Look at
The
that.
international community continues to call for
Look at the
de-escalation to the
barrage.
situation in the Middle East as the events unfolding in the
Fuck,
region
that's
paint
crazy.
an uncertain future.
Look
for
who came
any
to visit.
prospects of peace, at least for now. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for We On World.
Meanwhile, the U.S. intelligence has released its latest assessment of Iran's nuclear capabilities, saying that the danger of Iran building a nuclear weapon is increasing, even though it isn't doing so yet. Now, the report has warned
That's going to
that
be a
Iran
good
is
combo.
likely to respond to new attacks from Israel or additional Western sanctions by edging ever closer to crossing the nuclear threshold. According to the intel report, Iran has enough fissile material to make more than a dozen nuclear weapons. The report states that since July, Iran has continued to increase its stockpiles of 20% and 60% enriched uranium, while also manufacturing and operating a growing number of advanced centrifuges. The assessment further warns that Iranian officials have been increasingly willing to publicly discuss the utility of nuclear weapons. U.S. intelligence analysts say that their concerns extend beyond nuclear weapons
To show it off on camera, you know what I mean, Tats?
capabilities. The report says that Iran is almost certainly incorporating lessons learned from its drone attack against Israel in April and Russia's use of drones against Ukraine. The U.S. intelligence also expects that Tehran will incorporate performance data from Russia's use of Iranian-supplied close-range ballistic
You like how
missiles.
she says it, by the way? Missile.
They have been
By the way, real quick, just got to make a quick little halt to the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so, man. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. All of you guys, I appreciate
caught
you.
in the timeline to produce an intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, the intelligence report comes at a critical time before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Trump has vowed to stop Iran obtaining a nuclear bomb and threatened to tighten sanctions pressure on Tehran to force negotiations. U.S. intel has repeatedly warned that Iran could take dangerous new steps if placed under additional sanctions or diplomatic or military pressure. And Iranian officials have said that they are willing to hold talks with the incoming Trump administration over nuclear activities, but they have insisted that Tehran won't negotiate under pressure. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us a report from New York. Listen to this.
Man, she's fine. Just saying.
The latest U.S. intelligence report notes that Iran is dangerously closer to a nuclear threshold. It adds that while Tehran has not yet decided to build a nuclear weapon, it does have enough fissile material in its possession for over a dozen bombs and is increasing its production of enriched uranium. And the output will be rising significantly in the near future. Following Israel's strike in October that dismantled Iran's missile defenses, Tehran may feel that heightened pressure to pursue nuclear deterrence at that point. Talks in Geneva.
No, we need to not take the fucking bait. That's the whole get down right now. And it's very true that, I mean, this is something I'm really hoping personally. This is like a thing for me, right? I'm not telling other people what they have to think or do, but we cannot get fucking trapped up with Iran. That would be a very fucking bad decision. What we need to fucking focus on right now, as the United States, we need to focus on getting Russia-Ukraine figured out. That's what we need to fucking do. The whole Iran thing, just fucking let Israel handle that shit. You know what I mean? Just let them deal with it. They're over there. They got the shit. They got all the fucking stuff to handle themselves. Allow that shit to happen. What we cannot take the bait on this shit. Man.
Now, this was a video which was released by the Iranian state media in which Khamenei threatened Israel as well as the US with a crushing response over attacks on Iran and its proxies. He, however, did not elaborate on the timing of the attack, nor did he elaborate on the scope. Iran has carried out 2 major attacks against Israel within this year. The first attack took place in April after a strike on Iran's consulate in Damascus, and that was blamed on Israel. And then another one.
Oh, well, there it goes, by the way. Yep, he got ghosted for it.
Out on Israel was on the 1st of October that Tehran said was in response to the assassination of Hamas chief Ismail Haniyeh and Hassan Nasrallah, the chief of Hezbollah. Meanwhile, the war in Gaza continues. The Israeli Defense Forces said 2 of its soldiers have been killed during fighting in the northern Gaza Strip on Saturday. In a span of a week of operation in northern Gaza's Jabalia, the IDF said that its troops have killed some 900 terror operatives. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization said 4 children were among the 6 people wounded in a strike on a polio vaccination center. WHO Chief Tedros said that the vaccination center was in an area where a humanitarian pause was agreed.
So Iran closed down some shit, their airways or whatever, fucking because of gunfire until November 6th.
In Gaza. It was the first such rocket fire from Gaza in weeks. Meanwhile, protests continue in Israel.
I didn't even know that shit had happened.
Secure a deal to release the hostages taken by Hamas militants on the 7th of October, while others called for elections and for Netanyahu to step down.
Oh boy. Here goes the... Yep, we saw that.
On this, we earlier spoke with David B. DeRoche.
It was the photo op.
We earlier spoke with David B. DeRoche. He is a West Asia analyst. Here's what he had to say on this.
Go back to the lady that was reporting. That was nice to look at.
I think they will for the intended purpose, which is to ensure that you don't have a wider spread of conflict before the U.S. presidential election. I think the Iranians are pretty politically savvy, and they know that another major conflagration would probably strengthen Donald Trump in what is an election that's really too close to call. They do not want Donald Trump as president because his first act will probably be to reimpose harsh sanctions on Iran. So I think that at least for until Thursday, we're safe. The bigger question is how much action against Israel does the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps have to show in order to maintain some veneer of legitimacy with the Iranian population? I think it's probable that we'll see some action within the next 2 weeks.
Well, there was. There was. Damn straight. Trump won and everyone was like, oh shit. Everyone back the fuck up, you know? It was a cool little segment they put together right there.
Like you just said, one of the oldest, most
iconic
and still deadly aircraft in the American arsenal, the B-52 has reportedly
She has way too harsh of an accent for
West
me.
Asia in an undisclosed military base. Amid rising tensions between Israel and Iran, despite its age, this Cold War era giant is still prevalent in modern conflicts. Why does the 7-decade-old B-52 still remain a powerhouse in the skies? First flown in 1952, the bomber has been serving the U.S. Air Force since 1955.
Yeah, it's badass.
And reportedly still has decades of flight ahead. Reportedly, it can travel vast distances, carry an array of weapons.
Yeah, heartbender, I'm sure.
It's relatively cheap
Sure, it's hard.
to keep in action. As per reports, the B-52 is the oldest active-duty bomber in the U.S. fleet. After more than 70 years of service, experts predict it could continue flying for at least another 30 years, possibly until 2060.
We needed this. We needed
As per
this.
reports, the 5th bomb wing from Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota dispatched B-52s to the U.S. Central Command area. The bombers' exact destination remains undisclosed. But as per reports, the U.S. operates air bases.
What's up,
across
Redneck
the
Side?
Gulf region,
Good to see you,
from
man. Good
Qatar
morning.
to the UAE. So where
Brother
these
Glare.
planes can land and can operate if needed. As per reports, their presence is intended to dissuade any aggression from Iran or its allies. Reportedly, the bomber is capable of nuclear and conventional warfare. Let's just break down some key figures for you. Reportedly, the B-52 can carry up to 32,000 kilograms of weapons.
Oh, I'm
Think
sure it's
bombs.
probably, I'm sure that shit smells terrible out there. With the Amish in the summer, with the heat. Oh, yeah. Chicken farms, animals. Oh, yeah. That shit fucking reeks.
And it can climb to 50,000 feet, far above many other combat aircraft. Its 185-foot wings, reportedly nearly 2 feet longer than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. As per reports, over the years, the B-52 has adapted to evolving threats and missions.
Good to see you,
It
Lee.
was
Good morning, my man.
extensively
Hopefully you're having a good one.
used in the Cold War, often on high-altitude patrols near Soviet borders. During the Vietnam War, these bombers were often used in bombing campaigns. As per reports, flying missions from the Pacific bases in Guam and
Bombing
Okinawa.
campaigns?
Reportedly, in the
I can't help
1991
it.
Gulf War,
What's up,
B-52s
BNC?
launched from Diego
Good to see you,
Garcia
Bob.
in the
Good
Indian
morning.
Ocean to strike deep into Iraq during Operation Desert Storm. The bombers also reportedly used in Bosnia, in Kosovo, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. In the year 2022, reportedly, it was used for testing advanced weapons like a hypersonic missile. In fact, as per reports, among America's 3 heavy bombers, which include the B-1B and B-2 stealth bombers, B-52 costs $72,000 per flight hour, far cheaper than the B-2, which costs around $135,000 an hour. Reportedly, the B-52 remains an essential part of America's nuclear triad.
I wish
The
I
land,
could skip
sea, and
ahead because I
air-based defense
can't.
system reportedly designed to respond to any
Gave us a
nuclear
whole
threat.
history lesson on the
In fact,
B-52.
reports also say the B-52 can be used for conventional strikes, ready to attack on land or at sea with precision and intensity. Meanwhile, since Sunday, Israel pressed on with its campaigns in Lebanon and Gaza. The Lebanese Health Ministry has said at least 3 people were killed in an airstrike near the southern Lebanon city of Sidon.
When was that?
Israel reportedly also said Hezbollah fired 100 missiles from Lebanon into its territory. As per the IDF, several of the missiles were intercepted while some fell in unpopulated areas. However, the Lebanese group said the projectiles targeted for the first time Israeli military base in the northern city of Haifa. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, on a visit to the Lebanon border, vowed to respond firmly to Hezbollah's attacks.
With or without an agreement, the key to returning peace and security in the north, the key to returning our evacuated residents in the north safely to their homes, is to push Hezbollah back beyond the Litani River, to strike any attempt by it to rearm, and thirdly, to respond forcefully against any action against us.
So as tensions flare in West Asia, the B-52 once again reminds the world
How do
that
they say it like that? Asia.
Obsolete. U.S. intelligence has released its latest assessment of Iran's nuclear capability, saying that the danger of Iran building a nuclear weapon is increasing, even though it isn't doing so yet. Now, the report has warned that Iran is likely to respond to new attacks from Israel or additional Western sanctions by edging ever closer to crossing the nuclear threshold. According to the intel report, Iran has enough fissile material to make more than a dozen nuclear weapons.
Oh, yeah, it's bad today, Lee.
Since
It's
July,
bad today.
Iran has continued
I know.
to increase its stockpiles of 20% and 60% enriched uranium, while also manufacturing and operating a growing number of advanced centrifuges. The assessment further warns that Iranian officials have been increasingly willing to quote-unquote publicly discuss the utility of nuclear weapons. U.S. intelligence analysts say that their concerns extend beyond nuclear weapons to include Iran's ballistic missile and drone
look at those shots, bro.
The report
Fucking
says
crazy.
Iran is almost certainly incorporating lessons learned from its drone attacks against Israel in April and Russia's use of drones against Ukraine. U.S. intelligence
Barbie.
also expects that
I
Tehran
know.
will incorporate performance data from Russia's use of Iranian-supplied close-range ballistic missiles. There have been growing warnings
go ahead and
from
bring it up
Western
for you.
officials about collaboration between Russia and Iran over nuclear and missile programs. That includes work on space launch vehicles, which the report says would shorten the timeline to produce an intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, the intelligence report comes at a critical time before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Donald Trump has vowed to stop Iran obtaining a nuclear bomb, and he has threatened to tighten sanctions pressure on Tehran to
Okay, I
force
got it.
negotiations.
So
The U.S.
let's go ahead and switch this real quick. We'll stop this screen share. We'll go over to this one real quick. One sec. I don't know why it's lagging like a motherfucker. Okay, boom. Should go. Okay, so this is the axis of resistance. Let me make sure that you guys can see. Okay, you can. So this is literally what is known as the axis of resistance. And everything that is in the like yellow tan color is Iran backed axis of resistance. Okay. Now the reason why this is in particular is because of Iran, blah, blah, blah. But the axis of resistance here is pretty actually wild here. They kind of have no kind of out. They're Israel is the only people that is not, I mean, aside from Gaza, you can see the little Gaza, they're infiltrated inside. You can see that little speck right there. They do that on purpose. So even from the inside, they're getting fucked over by Iran, which is Iran is over here. And Tehran, I forget how to say it correctly. Tehran. That's their capital city. And that is where usually when there is like some sort of big missile strikes or anything that's happening to Iran, it's happening in that city right there. And then Syria, as you can see right here, this is Syria. This is known as not only with the Assad and blah, 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 but this is actually a trade route. And this is going to be a little complicated coming up because this very much could become our next, which I really hope it doesn't, by the way. I'm condemning this. But they could be our next people that is essentially Ukraine right now. And I hate to say that shit. It hurts me to the core, but that is true. Syria is very important, and United States knows it. So anyways, you can see where Iraq is and Iran is compared to where Israel is now and where the rest of these countries are. And then, of course, Yemen is down south. So, but anyways, that is what we were talking about right there. Hey, you ask and I will receive. You shall ask and you shall receive, right? Yeah, you got it. All right, let's go ahead and get back into this real quick.
That's really too close to call. They do not want Donald Trump as president.
Okay, we heard him say this.
Because his first act will probably be to reimpose harsh sanctions on Iran. So I think that at least for
he may be on a loop now. I just want to see, but when he was speaking last time, he wasn't broken up like this. But it's easy to just replay something and put it in. Now, hopefully, they move on to something different. If they don't, then we'll go ahead and just.
It's probable that we'll see some action within the next 2 weeks.
Kaldirosh, you did touch upon the implications, the ramifications of any further attack by Iran or Israel, which could push West Asia into wider war, as we are just few days away from the US presidential polls. But talk to us more about the nature of Iranian attack. There is still no clarity on that or the timing of the attack. Israel says that Iran is facing a dilemma, perhaps, after the kind of damage incurred on the Iranian defense facilities. With reports also suggesting that Iran's S-3...
You know what I say, Jay? This is a hot take. Instead of backing our money with gold, which we can't do anymore, we have way printed out way more money than gold on planet Earth. You know what I mean? There's not enough gold anywhere close to that, at least that we have. We don't have enough to cover it. So when they took away the gold standard, this essentially the only thing that backs money now is, believe it or not, service. That's what backs the US dollar, because people keep working for it. You know what I mean? So, and they keep spending and using it and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, this is the hot take. The hot take is, instead of backing our money with gold, how about we start backing our money with ammunition? Just saying. Just saying.
Israel will have the ability to target pretty much anything within Iran, to include attacks on targets within the major cities. This would really rattle the Iranian public consciousness, and again would have great damage on the ruling regime, the Revolutionary Guard regime. So it's not just a defense issue, it's a regime survival issue for Iran. So that argues in favor of Iranian restraint. However, I'm afraid that the supreme leader is kind of painting himself in a little box. Good morning, my man. He can't say there will be response, every Friday for 4 weeks with no response. I think the American presence is designed primarily to ensure that Iran does not launch an attack against
the Arab Don't worry about
states, as Iran has threatened to do. And again, that keeps in with the Biden administration goal of preventing a wider regional conflict.
Right, Colonel Roche. Earlier, Khamenei appeared to downplay the attack launched by Israel on Iran, but in the past few hours, it seems like he's adamant on launching an attack on Israel. But thank you for joining us on World DNA with your insights.
Thank you.
All right, moving to West Asia now. The United States has issued a stern warning to Iran against launching another strike on Israel.
Yes, don't forget about that. That's a very good point, by the way, Jay, that people kind of get lost in the sauce with all of this. But Turkey is an Iran ally and also a member of NATO. Yes. Yes. And that's why they're so, well, there's a lot there, there's a lot of conflict that can happen. And it's kind of playing both sides of the fence.
Khamenei had threatened
Israel
as well as the U.S. with a crushing response over attacks on Iran and its proxies. Now, he, however, did not elaborate on the timing of the attack nor its scope. Notably, Iran has notified airspace closure from tomorrow till November 6th, citing gunfire. Iran has carried out 2 major attacks against Israel in 2024, one in April after a strike on its consulate in Damascus that was blamed on Israel, and another in October that Tehran said was in response to the assassination.
I did not know that, by the way, Jay. Had no idea.
Meanwhile, the war in Gaza continues. The Israeli Defense Forces said 2 of its soldiers have been killed during fighting in the northern Gaza Strip on Saturday. In a span of a week of operation in northern Gaza's Jabalia, the IDF said that its troops have killed some 900 terror operatives.
Okay, so it is now on a loop. So we'll go ahead and just end it right there. It's perfect. Let's go ahead and see who is live real quick. We can go ahead and send a raid to. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and see. All right. Go show some love over to Jess White. She's live right now. Go ahead and hang out with her and show her some love. Guys, I cannot thank each and every single one of you guys enough for coming out and hanging out. Listen, you guys could be anywhere in the world, and you guys are here with me. I can't be more honored and stoked to hang out with all of you legends, man. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Hopefully you guys have a blessed rest of your Friday, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning for members only. We're going to get fucking crazy as we always do. Listen, man, before we get out of here, you know what I mean? Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. I very much appreciate all of you guys, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for members only. Let's get fucking crazy with it. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. God bless.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the love, the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels here.